Hello there. I'm here to show you a wonderful place.
The history of pre-war Fallout. Hello everybody, my name is Akimli. Due to the Fallout TV show coming out in a couple days, I figured that I would make this video. This video is mostly for the new guys, so if you're a die-hard Fallout fan, you probably know all about pre-war history, and this probably won't tell you anything. But for the new people who just clicked on this video who don't know anything about the story and lore of Fallout, this is the perfect place to be. Of course, I recommend that you play through the games. However, if you don't have enough time to play through these games, this video should suffice for pre-war history. Well, I don't see any reason to prolong this intro, so let's jump into it. Fallout takes place in a nuclear wasteland, in case the name didn't ring any bells. But what was the world like before everything was destroyed? Well, Fallout's world history is vastly different from our own. History stays the same up until World War II. Around the 50s, things mostly started to change. In this universe, the Red Scare and the life of the 50s continues long after its expiration date. Things take a turn for the worse in the future by the time of 2052, when the global conflict known as the Resource Wars starts, with the UN collapsing. The world had slowly run out of oil and other important resources, which resulted in paranoia and distrust in other countries. This is also when the Red Scare came back in full effect, with people reporting their neighbors and their colleagues. Eventually, the Resource Wars would result in Middle Eastern countries, and then eventually European countries, nuking each other to smithereens. The USA looked at this and decided that it was time to start Operation Safehouse, the creation of Vault-Tec and the famous vaults. Now, these vaults were originally marketed as the saving grace of the people, but this was farther from the truth. Some of these vaults did simply want to save people for the bobs, but most of them were used to test humans in extreme situations to see how they would survive in pretty horrifying situations. It could be anything from freezing people in cryostasis to putting a cougar in a vault with a bunch of dwellers. Nothing was really off the table. You could find a lot of outlandish things, and some things even funny, because we all know that Fallout has a strange sense of humor. Now, you might ask why the USA would do this to its own citizens. Well, you see, there was actually a group of elites in the USA called the Enclave, who planned on surviving after the inevitable fall of the bombs. Not much is known about them pre-war, so I'll get back to that later. Well, eventually, China, who is the big bad enemy of the USA, eventually invades Alaska in order to gain the last major oil fields in the world by launching a massive offensive. The USA responds by sending their forces and during what is called Operation Anchorage. This war resulted in the invention of power armor, the peaceful occupation of Mexico and Canada for the war effort, and raised the morale of the USA citizens when the war was won in the favor of the Americans. However, this celebration was cut short on the day of October 23, 2077. On this fairly average day, the conflict known as the Great War began. This war was a nuclear exchange that lasted for 2 hours and resulted in most of the planet becoming an irradiated wasteland. Some survived on the surface, but most who survived in the vaults built by Vault-Tec. Many of these vaults would obviously fail due to their strange experimentation. Some were even doomed to fail in the first place. However, some of these vaults were able to live on, and eventually people would step outside of them and create settlements and life. These people would start their own factions and start ruling the wasteland on their own terms by starting towns and communities while pillaging and destroying them. I hope this gave people a good idea on what the pre-war Fallout universe looked like, and I hope you enjoyed. Also, tell me if you like this more short-form video that I'm trying to do. Akimli, out.